Last time on MakeShift, we installed some new farms in order to automate phantom membrane and built up some brand new functional AVs that now fly around our city thanks to a magical bubble blower. We finished it off by adding in a new air traffic control tower. And in today's episode, we succumb to the builder bug. We're completely overhauling the exterior of the facility and adding in a ton of new security measures. It's time to lock in. We've got an iron supply to destroy. Hey y'all, welcome back to Vi Plays Create on the MakeShift SMP. I'm coming at you from the roof of one of my brand new AVs. After installing all of these in the last episode, I took some time to actually get every single one of them up and running. And as you can see behind me, we have a new idea for what the actual signal blocks can be. I've added in a ton more of those signals as well, so that we can actually have more than one AV running around the city. And thank you so much for all the suggestions for what we can actually do with the signal blocks. The drone is just like, it's just a no-brainer, right? And we're not going to do drones for all of those signals. In fact, we're going to do something pretty fancy over next to the facility because there's like just so many of them all stacked up next to each other. As you can see, with all these signals stacked up next to each other, we're going to need probably some new ideas for what these can look like. Every single one of these bays is completely empty, meaning all of the AVs are actually flying around the city right now. I did go ahead and make a few changes so that I can actually toggle off this system. Every time I have a train disassemble, it like leaves a chat message. And so I don't have those filling up my chat whenever I'm trying to record videos. I have a way that I can toggle these off by just powering the deployer all the time with a lever. But in every single one of these bays, I have one of these circuits. And these redstone links are tied to the redstone links that are inside the AVs, triggering a sequence gear shift to open up the doors. And after the last episode, I made a couple new updates to the interface for how we're actually gaining access to our sequenced gear shift. We now have a functional button on the inside instead of having the lectern with the linked controllers that just popped off when they duplicated. And on the exterior, I decided to swap out our byte panels for actual integrated bytes inside the side of this. That way I can park two AVs side by side, and this middle segment won't overlap and break blocks whenever one gets assembled into the world. And with the installation of our new air traffic control tower in the last episode, we're getting really close to the point where I like the actual outside of our new facility. We'll talk about the logo a little later on. And thank you again, by the way, for all the suggestions you left about the logo as well. I've also been hard at work in between episodes, getting the interior looking good as well. As you can see, on either side of the facility, we have some brand new doorways. Instead of having that garage door, which was always meant to be like a temporary thing, I now have two sliding glass doors on either side, and some nice little radiator fans that like, kind of give it an industrial vibe, right? Oh, and I love these little diagonal girders. They just like make this like a nice little rounded off portion. Looks so good. And inside here, I've installed a brand new garage door with a few different settings. By default, this thing is always closed, but I've added an analog lever to either side of this gear shift here so that if I want to keep it open at all times, I just leave one of those on and it's open all the time. And below my pressure plates here, if it's ever closed, I have a line of redstone that triggers this circuit here that allows this gear shift to be powered as well. Obviously, the entranceway isn't completely finished up, but it's looking pretty good so far. And I don't know if I showed this off in the previous episodes, but I did install this elevator, like, kind of a while ago, actually. But with maybe a few more detailed bits over here on this wall, I can go ahead and copy this to the other side, and I'll do that in between episodes. As you can also see, I fixed my sign issue. In previous episodes, I was kind of talking about how these can be invisible sometimes. It's totally a resource pack order thing. I kind of knew it was that. KSaw speculated that it was that, and I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. I can use signs in my builds again. Hooray! But with all of that less than riveting content I added in between episodes out of the way, we can finally talk about what we're getting done in today's episode. I always intended for this facility to look like Arasaka Industrial Park, which directly comes from Cyberpunk 2077. And one thing that this facility lacks is security. There's no walls here. And this corporation is meant to be, doing some proprietary things in this facility, meaning that security here should be kind of insane. So this place needs walls, it needs fences, we need gates and guard towers, and we need this place to be completely closed off. And for that, I have an idea. Over in here, I want to make a little bit of quick automation to make a bunch of locometal. Because for this wall, I think I'm going to be using practically almost entirely locometal. But over here at my miscellaneous saw array, I can go ahead and lock the output funnel so I don't have any automations coming through right now. And we can go ahead and grab all of these filters and we can add something new to this. And I hear that a deployer can actually like take and move filters. We might have to set up something for that. Like if I had a deployer that went along this and gathered them all for me, that would be so convenient. In fact, I kind of wonder. Oh my god, I think that totally works. But if I go into this list filter, now that I've gathered them all up, I can go ahead and drag riveted locometal into this list filter. And I believe that's the one that I need. Yeah. If I send a block of iron to this automation process, it will create 8 riveted locometal for every 1 block of iron. Anything I want to add to this filter, I can totally do that. And I'm wondering if I place these in here, and then if I give this redstone pulse of some sort, will it just go ahead and like apply all of these? It sure looks like it worked to me. Ooh, except for this last one. Maybe I'm gonna have to have this extend one more. Okay. And if I want to collect them all up, if I do this? No. Okay, so it doesn't remove the list filters. It will only place them in. Oh, but it took that one, didn't it? There's gotta be a way to do this, right? Where it'll collect up all of these consistently. Do I need to filter it or something? Leave it in the comments. If you guys know how this works, please teach me. Either way, we can now send a bunch of iron over here to get turned into locometal. And if I send that to Vi Bay 3 Saw Miscellaneous, all of that should get processed super quickly. Oh yeah, I never unlocked this, did I? Oh, yes, this is an issue that I keep forgetting about. The belts are not fast enough. I might need to redo my universal inputs. Yikes. Because like, what's the point of having all those saws if I can't use them all? They just get backed up. And now in my system, I have a couple thousand locometal. Heck yes. And I should be able to send that over to get dyed. And since the theme of everything in this facility is black, we'll dye them black. And after spending a bit more time gathering up a bunch of materials over here, and more than a few copycats, I want to start marking out the idea that I have for the walls that are going to surround the facility. Originally, I marked this out as a way to like indicate where the wall was going to go. And as you can see in the parking lot, we still have plenty of space inside for trucks to move around. But even still, I think what I want to do is I want to take this and I want to move it a little bit closer to the road. I'm thinking like 1.5 blocks of space, and then this is where the wall is going to start. And I have a specific design in mind for what this is going to look like. And I really do want this to look like a kind of a sloped bottom section before we make it up into where I'm going to have some fence up here at the top. And I played around with this design a little bit in creative mode, mostly just picking colors and things like that, but I haven't really worked out exactly what this is going to look like. And I'm thinking segments of the wall are gonna look a little bit like this. Obviously, I haven't finished this segment of the wall, but as for general shape, I'm thinking this is a good one. Now I know for the guard station, I wanna have like an actual building here on this side of the parking lot, and I don't wanna encroach too much on the road right here, but I know the curve of the truck actually stops like right around here. So it gives me a little bit of space to play with inside the parking lot. So I really don't have to eat up the entirety of the sidewalk over here. And now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of do want to push this entire thing over 1 block. So the sidewalk can be like 2.5 blocks. Yeah, that gives us quite a bit of space to play with. I think Steam and Rails has something called a semaphore. Yeah, semaphore. And this is kind of what I want when it comes to like a security bar that like drops down to stop cars from going by. Now, if I go ahead and craft up a train observer and grab myself some train signals, I should be able to kind of simulate what a drop down little bar thing would do. If I set up a signal here and I set up a train observer here, I should be able to simulate like a security point pass through with a pulse repeater. All I gotta do is toggle that so this thing is always locked, meaning that it can't move past this point until a train pulls up to this spot. So it'll come up to this spot, stop, and once it gets here, the train observer will be like, oh, there's somebody here. And then it'll send a pulse, which will disable this locking mechanism. I think we're gonna have to test and see how that works. One moment. And here comes our fuel hauler. It should approach this, stop, and then nothing. After a few iterations, this, I think, should function. It should come all the way to a full stop, because it's going to wait for 4 seconds on this pulse repeater, and then it's going to give this a little bit of delay, like an extended pulse off, because it's inverted, and that should let the train go by. But it does come to a full stop. I might make this a little bit longer. But yeah, now we actually get the train to stop. I can then take this signal upstairs where we can do some sequence gear shift things. Now with all of this area converted to this like smooth stone texture, I can go ahead and start running walls along this side as well, and those will meet up with our new air traffic control tower. But I do want to have something that's going to break up this wall. I don't want it to be like one solid wall all the way down. I think that would look kind of weird. So I went ahead and threw together some of these vaults and like a nice gray textured local metal. And I think we can do something kind of cool with some displays here. I think, yeah, these will only connect for 3 blocks, but I think I can kind of do like a sort of column type of thing. So I do want to do like a kind of a rounded shape along the top here, and I'm going to bring this up really tall. And having these like sticky boots actually makes this like really nice. It's like having permanent jump boost all the time. And then I made up these advanced display blocks, and I can go ahead and write some text in these things. By making a static text and then going into the advanced settings, I can even set the color to orange. And by dropping a little butterfly emoji in this bottom one, we can actually have the butterfly logo as a part of this sign. Oh, I really need to do the terraforming. Not bad, right? And I think to give this a little bit more of a rounded edge and to kind of bring in some of these more industrial elements, I want to use some of these fences. I'm not sure if I want to use the same color fences. What does that look like? Yeah, that actually kind of blends in pretty well. And I'm not sure if this works, but that whole mess process I just did with the display blocks is going to get really annoying after a while. So I'm kind of wondering if I get inside here and I go copy, maybe copy. Nope. Copy. Oh no, that resets it. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to do that to this side as well, but once I get a schematic of like a segment of the wall, I'll be able to copy it over and over again, and then I won't have to do this manually. I like it. And then I think to bring in a little bit of the brass coloring that I'm using for trim on the top and bottom of the actual building, I think I can just lay out some of these copycat panels along the top here. And I kind of want to make this a rounded shape as well, so it kind of hangs over the edge. Let me see if I can get some like copycat half panels. And that gives this kind of like a sorted, rounded top and brings in some of those brass colors again. And also, initially, I was trying to get these to connect to something over here. The fences won't connect to walls or anything like that. And I did try these fence gates, and they have this really cool mechanic where you like, if you open the bottom one, it kind of opens the 2, or I guess 3 if they're all updated. And I think for like a train station access thing, that actually, it kind of looks like one of those like train station allow you through things. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, my vocabulary is really topping the charts today. But with this segment figured out, what I want to do is I want to take a copy of this with the schematic, flip it to the other side, and then we'll get a full schematic of like all of this. I should be able to copy that directly, call it MNRC small wall segment, and save and upload immediately. I'm aware that kind of voids the feather, but if you watched the last episode, you'll know I definitely don't have any shortage of feathers. And by mirroring that, I should have... Yeah, this is the solid side over here, and then this side over here is empty. Nothing really shows on the inside here. Plus, maybe I can use this to, like, run power or something later on. And now if I throw down a couple of these shulker boxes, grab a schematic cannon and some gunpowder, I should be able to schematic that bad boy into the world. And I've already thought better of it. I think I do want to leave these end caps open for like the schematic that I'm going to be pasting all the way around the facility. If I need to fill in an end cap, I'll do that manually. Ooh, and while I'm thinking about it, since it's nighttime, I can actually go ahead and line the bottom side of this, since these are copycat panels and the light shines through. I can light the bottom of this with some light sources, and that should help light up the parking lot quite a bit. Oh, hello, creeper. Yeah, that's exactly why I want light sources. I'll go ahead and do them on both sides, just in case I need to flip this or something. It almost lights up the entirety of the parking lot. Maybe I can do a few more of these like little neon bars in the corners of the sidewalk and throw some lights on this guy here. Now, before I go pasting in a bunch of these wall segments all around the place, I do think I'm going to go ahead and reroute some of the train track here. We have the one truck that's currently going around the base, but I think I want to add some exterior details, maybe some outbuildings and things like that, potentially some guard towers, some little garages and things. So I think I'm going to lay that out first. I know for sure I'm going to want to have some sort of building here in this corner somewhere, and I think I want it to sort of tee off into a larger structure. And over here on this side of the facility where it looks really bland, I think I want to have some sort of structure span a few lanes and then come back over and meet the building. I think I'm also going to go ahead and shave back some of the sidewalk over here to give me just a little bit more space. The width of the wall is about that wide, which gives us about a lane's width to go between the structure that I want to add on and the wall itself. Oh, and I've just had a thought. I actually think instead of doing the structure over here and making it like a 3 wide lane thing, I think what I want to do is I want to actually start removing some of this, and I'd love to actually go down underneath the structure and have like maybe not like a parking garage, but like an offloading bay or something like that down underneath. It will be fully cosmetic. I don't think I'll need more than what I have over here at the delivery side, but I can take this concept and I can actually add it to this side over here. Ooh, and I've already started getting carried away. I think I'm gonna just pop right into builder mode. Let's time lapse this. Let's go. I just found out I haven't been recording for this last segment, but as you can see behind me, we've got some fancy new little gate pass thingies. Oh, don't hit me. But check it out. We got some new entranceways over here. It's looking pretty sick. I'm really happy with the way this is starting to come out. I have these 2 guard tower entrance buildings for whenever people are coming inside this area. We have an outbuilding for the guards to station in, and plenty of space to put some stairs up to the roof. A nice secondary building over here, and a fully functioning stop cross thing. I really just need to look these up. As you can see, the pivot point of this thing is a little bit goofy, but that's mostly because I didn't want to have the mechanical bearing exposed up here on top of the road. I wanted to be able to cover it up. So if I pop over to here, I can go ahead and go on downstairs and we can check out some of this redstone. Obviously, you've seen this before. It's just the pulse repeater and a pulse extender going into our signal block. I did go ahead and move the signal block back one so that it gives us a little bit more space between the front of the truck and our little divider thing here. And I've done essentially the same thing on the other side here. Now, the thing I've added since then is a secondary line of redstone. This pulse repeater is set to 5 seconds. So it's going to wait 5 seconds before it pulses this sequence gear shift, which right above it is an industrial iron gearbox, and then our mechanical bearing. And this sequence is pretty simple. We just turn it by 79 degrees, wait for 7 seconds, and then turn it back by 79 degrees. This mechanical bearing is set to only place when the anchor is destroyed, meaning we never actually place the blocks back in the world. We completely cover up our mechanical bearing here. That's working pretty nicely. And I have been chipping away at this for hours, like a lot of hours. But I also took a bit of time to incorporate some detail blocks. I wanted this to kind of look like a generator or something like that, with some cables running out the top and kind of off to the side here. I'm leaving this side undetailed because I don't really know what's going to go on this side of the building over here. I'm sure I'm going to have more industrial stuff in this area, probably only for cosmetic reasons. I don't think I should cram all of my Create components in like one renderable area. But with all of that progress I made, I haven't even gotten to all the buildings that I wanted to do on the exterior of this thing. Luckily, that corner there and this one down here are going to be very, very simple builds. And then I think the last thing that I'll need to do is some sort of structure to go here. I could probably take a segment of this this shorter section of the wall and throw it between that, wherever the building sits, and our first AV track, because I really want this entire parking lot to be like inaccessible. And over here on this face, I don't really have to worry about a wall because, you know, there's a massive retaining wall. People aren't climbing up this thing to get inside the facility. And if they are, they're probably going to get met by security. But that's a later on thing. As you can also see, I have one of my new offloading bays, a nice coverage area for whenever like trucks can come in here and stop. And I made this one a little bit shorter because I think I want the trucks that drop stuff off here to be like transit vehicles, like not really trucks, not like delivery vehicles. I want them to look more like transit vehicles. And we can use some of those transit vehicles to move items. Additionally, we've also started the portion that's going to go down underground. Like I said before, it is currently cosmetic. It just runs straight into some black concrete. Ain't nothing here, but the vibe is there. So I think very quickly, I want to get a rough shape for this little corner building here, this corner building over here, and the wall segment that's going to go from that building to our AV platforms and from our air traffic control tower and this AV platform. And I'll bring you back whenever I'm done. That took some time. We officially have some brand new walls connecting up to our AV platforms and fully encircling the base. I know I said I was going to put a building here. I didn't. Sue me. Honestly, I think what I want to do over here is I probably want to take the entrance over here on this side. I want to copy it and I want to put it over here, but I'm so out of time, guys. This video was supposed to go to Patreons like yesterday, and sorry, no Patreon early access this week. But I'm super happy with the way this is starting to look. In this corner over here, we have a new guard tower with an antenna and a cool new satellite. A little guard access point right here. Ooh, don't hit me. With plenty of space on the inside to put stuff and an actual access to the walls themselves. Also, can I get rid of that? Oh, those don't need to be there? Oh, I wasted so many volts, and it runs all the way through. So this is like kind of the perfect place to like run some cables or something. I've also installed a few of these light poles around the place, and this one looks a little bit out of place, but it allows me to have like a lit up parking lot in the area, and I now shouldn't really be getting any mob spawns inside our perimeter wall. They're just looking so high-tech. I kind of love them. And with the entire perimeter wall complete, there's one final thing I want to get taken care of in this episode. In the previous episode, I asked you guys what you thought about our new logo. See, I originally designed this miniaturized logo to be an orange version of the butterfly wing, but like, obviously, very miniature. Honestly, it's a little hard to tell that it's a butterfly wing unless I tell you it's a butterfly wing. But I was working at small scale, okay? But I asked if the red was the right color choice for our logo. I also spun up an orange version as well, you know, to kind of match that. And the feedback was so mixed. You guys had so many different takes on what it should be or could be, and you guys made the decision like not easier at all. It was pretty divided, but I did have more than a few suggestions that were basically like, why not both? Why not orange wing, red text? And you know what? I like that idea. And this solution actually is a little bit two-pronged because I can leave my red lettering on the side of the tanker here, and I can also leave the orange logo on the side of my AVs. Because technically, it's good for both. I do kind of wish this was a little bit brighter though. And I'm just now realizing I've forgotten to talk about this. Yeah, these, it didn't copy over in the schematics. Frick. Ooh, we can change the background of these? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I'm definitely messing around with this in between episodes. Also, it makes me a little bit sad that I can't see them from far away. So, I'm probably gonna just overlay all of these with like the neon letters that I have from our neon mod. Yeah, that seems like a smarter solution. Ooh, much cooler. Much cooler. And after getting even more carried away in between clips, we have an entrance over here on this side as well. Also, check this out. I finally figured out a way to open these automatically by the push of a button. If you remember before, if you power these things with redstone, they get a little bit borked. Yeah, they get like a little bit goofy. Yeah. But I had this idea a while back, and I finally set it up. So I have a deployer right here, and it's always being powered unless it's triggered by a button to that little pulse extender right there. These things are so awesome for just inverting signal in like a 1-block space. I could use a redstone torch, but I don't know. I have a bunch of these, and they feel a little bit more createmod-y. But I am just super happy with all the detailing and things that we've added. I like all of the cool new buildings that we have around this thing, and this area is going to get even cooler. but I really needed to get this thing to a point where I can actually move on and start building some other stuff. I know that if I move on, I might not come back to it, and I really wanted this place to look pretty polished up. And so now we're going to set our sights abroad. I cannot wait to get the city built up. There's so much to do. And so with that, I'm going to leave it. I appreciate you so much for watching. If you like the video, like it. And if you want to subscribe, you should do it. And I'll see you in the next one. Dang. That was a lot of building. Oh, that was so much building. See ya. Oh, crap. I forgot. Oh, I forgot the idea. Oh, we're going to have to do the drones. We're going to have to do the drones in the next episode, guys. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Oh, whatever. See you guys.